11 of the college football season. My name is Mike Browning. I'm the host of the College Football Road Trip at cfbroadtrip.com, and I'm coming to you this week from Eugene, Oregon. We just got into town today. It's a little rainy outside. It's supposed to be rainy most of the week, but that's what you get in the Pacific Northwest. I'm really excited about this week's USC at Oregon matchup on Saturday night. Obviously, we will get to that pick at the end of this week's picks. In the meantime, a lot of really good games this week. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off with a Friday night matchup out of the Mountain West. We have Wyoming traveling to UNLV. Both these teams are pretty strong in the Mountain West. Wyoming's had a pretty good year so far, but UNLV, I think, has been a bit of a surprise out of the Mountain West. Right now, they only have one loss in conference play this week. Because of that and the fact that they're the home team in this one, I think it will be a close game, but I think UNLV will pull it out. I have UNLV winning at home over Wyoming on Friday night. Moving to our Saturday games and starting off with another Mountain West matchup, we have Fresno State traveling to San Jose State. San Jose State is a team that struggled to start off the beginning of the year, lost some games against some better opponents, but still 3-2 in Mountain West play. Fresno State has one loss in conference play. They have a pretty impressive win last week against Boise State. I think this will stay a little bit closer than most people expect since San Jose State's the home team. But Fresno State still has a lot to play for, trying to make it to the Mountain West championship game. Air Force is still the top of the Mountain West with their undefeated conference schedule. But Fresno State's right there to try to get into that game as well. So that I think they'll be able to win this game pretty handily. Fresno State wins on the road at San Jose State. Next, let's move to the ACC. We have Duke traveling to 24th ranked North Carolina. North Carolina is a team that's obviously struggled over the past couple weeks. They have not looked very good. Duke, on the other hand, has also struggled over the past few weeks as well. Theirs can be explained by their quarterback getting hurt that led them along the way. The question is, which one of these teams is going to bounce back this week? Because of Duke's quarterback situation, I just think they're going to continue to struggle on the offensive side of the ball. Because of that, that means North Carolina is going to have the edge. Again, being the home team gives them a couple extra points in this one as well. I have North Carolina winning at home over Duke in ACC play. Next, let's go to an interesting Big 12 matchup. We have West Virginia traveling to 17th ranked Oklahoma. West Virginia struggled at the beginning of the year, but has looked pretty decent since then. They do have 2 conference losses on the season, but so does Oklahoma after their losses the last 2 weeks. First on the road at Kansas, then last week against Oklahoma State in the last Bedlam matchup for a while. So the question is Oklahoma going to continue to play? I think that they are going to have a wake-up call this week. I think the rest of their schedule benefits them. I don't think they have a very hard remaining strength of schedule, and that includes playing West Virginia this week. Again, OU's the home team. That gives them a couple extra points in this one. And so because of that, I think Oklahoma will bounce back and will have the win. I have Oklahoma winning at home over West Virginia in Big 12 play. Let's go to an SEC matchup next. We have 8th ranked Alabama traveling to Kentucky. Alabama, since their loss to Texas, has continued to look better week after week after week. Kentucky is a team that looked good at the beginning of the year, but they have struggled over the last couple weeks. I think the struggles are going to continue this week. Yes, they're the home team, but Alabama just has too much going for them, and they're starting to get that momentum going. They want to be able to get into that national championship conversation, and obviously to do that, they have to win a game like this and win it pretty handily, which they will in the second half. 8th ranked Alabama wins on the road at Kentucky in SEC play. Staying in the SEC with our first ranked versus ranked matchup, we have 13th ranked Tennessee traveling to 14th ranked Missouri. Obviously, both of these teams are competitive in the SEC East, but neither one of them are going to be able to overcome Georgia to make it to the SEC championship. The question is, which one of these teams wants to prove that it's the better team? Which one of these teams wants to show that they have a better season, wants to try to make it to a better bowl game at the end of the year? Missouri's looked really good going into that Georgia game last week, where they obviously fell to the number one team, well, technically number two team in the country, it's according to the playoff rankings. Missouri being the home team once again, I think they're going to have the edge. They want to bounce back after their loss last week. I think they will do it. Missouri wins at home over Tennessee in SEC play. Next, let's head out to the Pac-12. We have 18th ranked Utah traveling to 5th ranked Washington. Washington is obviously right there trying to make it into the playoffs with both Ohio State and Michigan ahead of them. If Washington wins out, they will be in because obviously the Ohio State-Michigan winner will fall from the top four of the rankings. They have to be able to win a game like this against a Utah team that is competitive, that is a good team, but just isn't quite as good, especially on the offensive side of the ball, as they were last year when they won the Pac-12 champion. Washington struggled a little bit over the past couple of weeks, but I think they still will have enough this week to set up what could be a very good matchup next week in Corvallis against Oregon State. That could be worth a lot of value on that game next week. Obviously, Washington has to win this week for that game to mean as much as it should. They will do it. Washington wins at home over Utah in Pac-12 play. Heading out to the Big Ten now, a big matchup. We have 3rd-ranked Michigan traveling to 10th-ranked Penn State. Again, all the news around Michigan right now is around the scandal and whether or not they were stealing signs. If they were or if they weren't, obviously that has nothing to do with the game I'm trying to pick this week. And Michigan is just a really good football team, no matter what happens. And then you have Penn State on the other side. Penn State's a very good team, but if you get them in a strong matchup like this, they haven't really been good over the past couple seasons against either Ohio State or Penn State in these big matchups. The struggles are going to continue again this week. Michigan is going to want to prove people that they can still play football, and they will do that with a win this week. 3rd-ranked Michigan wins on the road at Penn State in Big Ten play. Heading back to the SEC now, we have 9th-ranked Ole Miss traveling to 2nd-ranked Georgia. The big news that is around what Lane Kiffin said this week about the game, and that Ole Miss really has nothing to lose in this matchup, and that's kind of true. Alabama basically has the SEC West sewn up, so even if Ole Miss were to pull off the upset, they still wouldn't make it to the SEC championship game. So they want to use this game as a proving ground to show that they are a very good team. They are a good team, but Georgia is a better team. Yes, Georgia tends to play to the level of competition, but with Ole Miss being such a good team, that means Georgia's level is going to be up for this game. And once again, they're the home team. I always give an edge to the home team in these types of games. Georgia wins at home over Ole Miss in SEC play. So finally, let's go to the game that I will be at this weekend. We are in Eugene, Oregon for the USC at Oregon matchup. Oregon ranked number 6. They are the top-ranked one-loss team in the country. They are wanting to go back to the Pac-12 championship game to have a rematch with Washington. If they make it there, if they beat Washington, they are right in the discussion to make the college football playoffs. USC obviously is on their big losing streak. They finally fired the defensive coordinator this week. The question is, are the players going to want to play for anything for the rest of the season? Caleb Williams is still going to give it his all for the rest of the year. The question is, will the defense try to step up and show that they are talented now that they have a new defensive coordinator for the last 2 games of the season? I think it's obviously going to be a very high-scoring game. I think Oregon has just more balance on both sides of the ball, which means they will be able to pull away in the fourth quarter. I have 6th-ranked Oregon winning at home over USC at a game that I'm very excited to be at this weekend. I'll be writing about everything that I do in Eugene, in Portland, and then next week I'll be in Corvallis for the Oregon State of Washington game. I'm excited for all of those games. We're coming down to the home stretch of the season. Lots to still play for across all the major conferences. So go enjoy the Week 11 games, everyone, and we'll talk to all of you again next week.